Good morning, TV fans. It's another edition of...
Hold on, I'm getting a text.
Oh.
This podcast is very important.
This podcast is brought to you by the letter P, Patrick, and the letter B for Brent. We are the TV guys. We're talking TV. And today, I want to talk about the CBS Evening News.
Okay.
You watch the Evening News?
No, because I have a thing called the internet.
Yes.
Well, I know people who do the evening news, and the only reason why I watch the evening news now is because, like, people I know broadcast it. That's the only reason why.
Well, you know, I mean, in the U.S., of course, the major networks still have big news departments,
yes.
And it's a big deal to be the anchor of the nightly news.
Yeah.
But it's sort of the kind of thing that nobody cares about anymore. I mean, it's anachronistic.
Yes.
It's the evening news.
The elderly shut-ins
is gone. And if you ever watch the news, you can tell by the commercials. Yeah. It's like, you know, Viagra and those, you know, the mattress things that go, the adjustable beds.
The adult undergarments.
Oh, that too.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of what they're looking at. A shrinking market. Eventually, they're going to go the way of the dodo. So, Katie Couric is leaving the news. Not because...
Hard to believe that Katie Couric, known as the most softball, mamby-pamby type of news anchor, didn't quite work out.
Well, you know, they lured her away from NBC, the Today Show, with huge money, a big paycheck. Yes. I can't remember how much it was. It was big time money. It was
a lot.
And her contract's up, and the ratings are not. Pretty much where they were before. So they're not renewing her contract. So there's another guy. So who's going to be the anchor? Now, think back.
Back when Matt Lauer.
Well, you know, back when Walter Cronkite was the anchor.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to replace Cronkite? That's a big story. That was big news. Yes. People cared. Now, who's going to replace him? Nobody. Because you know why? Nobody wants the job.
Well, nobody wants the job because it's a thankless job, because everybody knows that no matter who is there, the ratings are going to consistently go down. I mean, it's the medium. I mean, nobody's ratings are going up as far as news goes. They're all going down. So
absolutely.
That's the problem.
Now,
Piers Morgan. They get Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan, well, I think he's bringing it on himself. But I mean, news shows, though, you take a 60 Minutes. That show still does really well.
But that's because it's an institution, and the people who watch it, they're locked into they love the hosts.
And it gives you something you don't get from the news. It gives you insight.
Yes.
The news, you just get reporting, which, as you say, you know, if you got an iPhone, you can get the same thing there.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas 60 Minutes, you can't find an 8 or 12-minute interview with somebody.
That's right.
That just doesn't exist anymore. So yeah.
And so the front runner for this job is a guy named Scott Pelley.
Oh, Scott Pelley.
Now, Scott Pelley is well, he's a guy on.
What does it say here? Would the intern print out for us?
He's working at CBS Evening News. Has been for a while. He's in his 50s, and
so he's young.
They want him for the job. He doesn't want to do it because he's thinking it's a demotion.
Wow.
We have hit the point where being the anchor of a national newscast in America is seen as a demotion.
Nice.
So, you know, how long can these national newscasts keep hanging on? I mean, it's kind of pointless.
J.D. Roberts is coming in.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, he was on. Where is he now? I mean, he was on CNN. He was on CBS. Moved to go to CNN. Haven't seen him on CNN. Maybe he'll go back to Much Music. That'd be cool.
Just giving us updates on what he thinks the latest episode of Skins is about.
Well, you know.
By the way, can I just say something a little off topic? Have you seen Skins?
I have not seen Skins. No.
It's horrible.
Quite
possibly one of the worst shows on television. I did never watch the British one. Watched the U.S. version. I was just like, see what all the talk is about. The acting is It's like the acting is so poor that while I was watching, I was like, so is this a school for teenagers who are mentally delayed? I don't understand what this show is about. And it's a ripoff of the movie Kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they even have some of the same characters. They just gave them different names, but it's so blatantly obvious. It's such a horrible show. And so as I was watching it, I was like, oh, that guy kind of looks like a buddy of mine who bartends at a gig I do. And I was like, oh, isn't that funny? I should rib him about it. And the character on the show, the actor, he's some young guy. Horrible. Just horrible. The next day, this happened just yesterday. The next day, I'm going to renew the insurance on the Dodge, the mythical 86 Dodge 600 Turbo convertible chrome interior. I go to pay my car insurance. As I'm walking to drop the car insurance cash off, who is walking towards me? The terrible actor from Skins, and he's got a backpack, and he's schlepping just just some like teenage weirdo kid walking, and I came a sliver of a hair from saying to the kid, "Are you going off to acting class?"
Ouch!
No? Well,
Ouch.
you should be. Here's
Ouch.
$20. Do us all a favor.
Well,
learn to act in front of the camera.
Well, it's an interesting point, though, because
horrible.
The hook on Skins was that rather than have slightly older actors the way every other show does,
Yeah, I understand that.
they actually had kids that were playing their own age.
And I understand. I appreciate
maybe
that.
there's a reason why everyone on Glee is 30.
Yeah.
Because
it takes the time to develop. But the people on Skins, a lot of them I don't recognize from other projects. So it's not like, maybe they have been working, I'm not sure, but it seemed to me as though they cast people based on a look.
Well, yeah,
as opposed to a skill. And I think that's why the ratings are so poor. And for Skins, I think that's why it's going to be canceled. Because they went for style over substance, and when you're doing something like that, people don't care what they look like. Hence the success of Jersey Shore. Snooki is a troll that looks like a fire hydrant if the fire hydrant let itself go. But people don't care. You've got the guys on that show are just guys that, they're just weird looking, just goombas, but nobody cares because they're interesting. And that's the society we live in now. People are willing to look past I don't care what anybody says. I think people are willing to look past the looks if you're an interesting character. Hence, Kirstie Alley. I think that's why people still
Well, that's an interesting segue, because that's what we're going to be talking about in our next podcast, is
That's right.
Kirstie Alley on Dancing with the Stars. And we'll see you next time.